Good afternoon, and may I extend a really warm welcome to you as you join our webinar, Women Blueprint for Balance, an ambitious new approach to inclusion, brought to you by the Chartered Management Institute, or CMI. My name is Dr. Chan Abraham. I'm a Chartered Fellow of CMI with a passion to help inspire and energize a renaissance of leadership. Shortly, I will be delighted to hand over to the stars of our webinar, Alison Maitland and Rebecca Steele. They're the co-authors of the book Indivisible, and they will explain an ambitious new approach to inclusive leadership as part of our Blueprint for Balance series around the 6 themes of balanced recruitment, mentoring and sponsorship, promoting leadership equality, skills and career development, flexible working pay and rewards. First, a little background and some housekeeping. CMI's Women's Network was established 50 years ago to promote women in management, with diversity and inclusion at the heart of great leadership, which, as I say, I also am seeking to energize through my work in Leadership International and as part of the CMI. Blueprint for Balance is CMI's innovative open source tool to promote diversity in the workplace, supporting CMI's objective of producing the world's strongest pipeline of women in management. We're always looking for new resources, so if you'd like to suggest any, please do so on the Blueprint for Balance page. And if you have any questions during the webinar, you can ask them using the live chat box on the right of your screen, and we will answer as many as we can. And finally, today's session is being recorded, so it will be shared with you later on today for those of you who booked to attend. It will also be available in Management Direct for those of you who already are members. So let's fire the starting pistol, and please join me as I welcome Alison and Rebecca and hand over to you to begin.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed for that lovely warm welcome, Chan. And it's great to see so many of you here today to talk about and to get insights into this really critical issue of inclusion. So I'm just going to begin by saying something about the big picture. In recent months, with the COVID-19 pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement, both of them have, in different ways, really starkly underlined the urgency of getting inclusion right in organizations and in society.
I'm sorry, I was on mute then, but I was thanking Alison and Rebecca. That was really great. Thank you so much. And there's been some quite some activity on the commentary. I have to say those interactive polls are absolutely fascinating, and all credit to the CMI as well for bringing in the technology. Now, please do let us have your questions. Use the comments box for that. Just a very easy question, Alison, Rebecca, before we pick up with some of the others. We've been asked as to whether there is an audio version of the book available.
Well, there isn't yet. We really would love to produce that, but we haven't produced it yet.
Well, thank you very much for that. So that's something we're looking forward to. Please keep your questions coming in. Here is a question. Do you have examples of organizations that are doing what you've prescribed, this whole system approach? That is, do you have examples of organizations doing that well? Okay. Thank you. I would like to go in just a moment to a question on colleagues and workers from racially diverse communities in organizations. Just before I do that, questions are coming in around, and you've touched upon this just now, around leadership. And because it's something that's certainly very close to my heart, having been group chief executive in a large organization and experienced the kickback actually from a whole industry sector on a number of things. From the case studies that you've just described, can you comment on the way in which people in the most senior echelons of leadership have been engaged? Because sometimes processes are driven by activists within an organization, often from within the human resources team or from a diversity inclusion unit. But long-term change, cultural change, needs to engage leaders. Could you comment because there's some interest there, that one of the questions that's come through has been about how do we make sure it's not just a box ticking exercise, and of course it's about long-term cultural change.
Right.
Yeah.
We would say
we both want to answer this, don't we? You go first, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. Please, friends, do keep your questions coming in. The Chartered Management Institute is beginning to do a lot of work on in the whole area of race. And I've got a couple of questions, please, to run together here about how we can start a new network for colleagues and workers from racially diverse communities, where we could truly make an impact with allies, with advocates, and with all members who have a role to play. So that's a part A. And the part B, which is connected, is what are your experiences of the biggest barrier that those kinds of employees have said holds their careers back, and how we tackle it. So yeah, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Well, shall I kick off?
Really, really great stuff. It's such a shame we're coming towards the finishing tape actually in just a few minutes. And there is one question I'd like to bring in, but it does occur to me that everything you're describing should be really part of just normal good business practice, and it's transferable into other areas of business activities. So if it was just, say, health and safety, a culture of health and safety is also an ecosystem around that. We shouldn't be having the kinds of disasters that we have had. I wonder, we literally have just a couple of minutes, but there's a really interesting question about a whole system approach. Do you agree that organizations should also consider their external contractors as part of their team in this context? And I suppose the supplementary is, how does that happen? But we only have a couple of minutes to try and give this answer.
Right. Well, just very briefly, I'll say something about that. But
well, thank you so much. We're now coming, friends, towards the final leg, really, of this session. We trust you've enjoyed it. And we'd, of course, love to receive your feedback of whatever kind. It's fascinating to see the different parts of the world that people have called in from. And we hope that wherever you are, that you are well. I would like to express our thanks to all of you who have joined us, and especially to Alison and Rebecca for your insights and expertise. You've all heard about the book. I'm sure it's available wherever good books are sold, as they say. So please do. And if you have any difficulty, I'm sure contact us at the Chartered Management Institute. Please do remember that if you are a member of the Institute, you can access the CMI Women's Blueprint for Balance open source tool, which has a whole range of resources to help promote diversity in the workplace. And if you'd like to upload any resources, please do so by clicking on the link in the chat comments. So just a few announcements for the future. The next CMI Women digital events are on the 19th of October. That's Pay and Rewards with Andrew Baisley from the Fawcett Society. And 3rd November, day after my birthday, no cards please, Mentoring and Sponsorship with Emily West from Alchemy Coaching. And the CMI Women Chair, Dr. Heather Melville, will be joining Chair of CMI Race, Pavita Cooper, in the CMI Race Moving the Dial webinar on 20th October. So a full program of activity. For anyone new to CMI, please do click the link below to get access to thousands of practical development resources. I'd like to close with a comment actually which came to mind with one of the comments you made. It's from Helen Keller. She said, the world is moved along not only by the mighty shoves of its heroes, but also by the aggregate of the tiny pushes of each honest worker. And I think we've heard a lot about that in the context of inclusion. So thank you again for sharing with us today. Thank you, Alison and Rebecca, so much. Please, wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your day. Be well, and we look forward to the pleasure of your company at a future CMI webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Chan.
Thank you.